Every time I get through that without like the whole sequence, without fucking anything up, Tyler's always so proud of me. And then tonight he's just not here to see it.
Well, I'm fucking proud of you.
I appreciate that. I appreciate
Give it up
that.
for Sean B, everybody.
Welcome
he didn't fuck
to
it up.
the Mind Snacks podcast. It is Sean B here in the studio without my PIC partner in crime, Tyler Me tonight. No Tyler. Instead, Octavius is hanging out.
The police often question him just because they find him interesting.
I don't want to do that. But, he's moved in. He's upgraded, actually, from this chair over here to now he's in the Tyler Me spot. Yeah. And but definitely had to make a point that is not Tyler Me in case anybody were to get confused.
Well, if it was a stand-up of Ed Sheeran, then I would have questions.
Sure.
But I don't get Octavius and Tyler mixed up yet.
Yeah, not yet. I mean, it's, a lot of people watch this show drunk. Yeah. And they might think, why has Tyler got that sombrero on? When did he start dressing so nice? No,
well, it is Tyler's.
This is the kind of behavior we can learn to expect from Tyler Me.
It is 100%.
With the baby coming.
Yeah.
With the baby coming. So a little personal day here.
Yeah.
A little family day.
Yeah.
No harm in that.
No
harm in that. Look, we work 1 day a week.
Yeah.
I mean, just 1 out of 7. But if that one day happens to be the day that you need a day off.
They're not having the baby today, right?
No.
Okay. I was going to say.
No.
I know I'm out of the whole loop and everything, but like.
You're not out of the loop, are you? That baby's due in October.
Okay. I knew they were having a baby. I didn't know how long they waited to tell
baby
people.
exists. Check. I got that.
I know how they're made.
Yeah.
I think.
Will you tell us?
Huh?
Tyler's never told me.
It's a stork. Yeah, they just drop it off.
How do they know when it's coming? The stork.
How does the stork know? Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, my guest in studio tonight, longtime friend of the show, great person, great human, even better podcast guest, all those things. Give it up, Mr. Kyle Killinger.
Thank you
I
for
hate
having
being
me.
the only person applauding. It's like
okay.
it's just I miss him so much.
I know. Well, we'll have a good episode.
I almost didn't do the show tonight. I almost texted you and said, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah,
but then I was like, no,
we can do it.
I'm going to do
We'll
it.
carry it.
I'm going to do it. So got Kyle in the studio tonight. Of course, I have to tell this story that happened to us about 10 minutes ago.
Oh, yeah.
I've been here. I got here about probably 6:45 tonight.
And what time is it?
And it's 8:13.
Okay.
I got here about 6:45. And Joe's acting like Tyler's dead. Tyler would want the show to go on.
The show must go. Okay.
He would too. He would too.
Don't zuck us. I did not write that song.
Right.
Wasn't born yet.
I got here about 6:45, and I'm sitting here doing odds and ends shit, just kind of getting ready for the podcast. And lo and behold, I'm like, man, it's awful close to 8:00. Where is Kyle? Now I get a text message from Kyle. Hey, buddy, where you at? In my head, I'm like, where are you? Like, I'm here. But I didn't say that because it instantly occurred to me that I do not have a car at the studio. Kyle didn't see the Acadia, thus nobody's here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
sat in the parking lot for.
But I was here. I
minutes.
was waiting on you. Waiting on you to get here. So here we are.
Here we are. We'll do the thing.
Wednesday night, dude, what's new? I know you've always got things going on. What's new with you?
Man, my brain has just been working overtime on what things I should do.
Things you should do?
Things I want to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Same.
I gotta narrow down some things. I had some things come up because we're having a shutdown in July.
Yeah.
It's not the typical week I normally get off, but it's still a whole week. Thinking about taking a small road trip
to
Maryland, North Carolina, and Florida. And back.
Really?
Yeah, little one.
For
just to get away.
Just to get away, a little vacation.
Yeah. I looked at the dates, and I actually will be going. Regardless of shutdown, I was going to be going to South Carolina anyways for a weekend because my friend is getting ready to retire from the Marine Corps.
Nice.
He's a major, and no, I take that back. Yeah, no, he's a major.
Okay.
He would have been put up for lieutenant colonel, but he decided to step out after I don't know how many years, 23 years, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Decided
I was going
to-
to go down and see his retirement ceremonies. He came to DC and watched me finish my run, so I felt like
That's
I should
pretty
go,
cool.
I
Yeah.
should go see him retire. So
Eye for an eye.
yeah,
Fair enough.
But
So now you talked about Maryland. Did you run through Maryland at all?
in DC, yeah,
Okay.
just parts. I mean,
Yeah.
technically I was in Maryland, yeah, but
Okay.
more so like Virginia.
Okay. So like I didn't know. Did you approach DC from south or north or directly from the
It was
west?
from the West.
Okay.
Yeah, I had to stop and think about it. I was like,
Yeah. Because I knew like we followed basically you were in Pennsylvania, I think. Did you ever run through Pennsylvania?
oh yeah,
Okay, yeah, that's what I
it
thought.
was a lot of Pennsylvania.
Yeah. So
That's where it really sucked.
you were there, and then it kind of started. I don't know what happened, but it kind of started that we didn't communicate as much. I think you were just like grinding, like you're ready to get this done.
Yeah,
And
it was getting cold too.
yeah, I
It got,
imagine
in those mountains, it got cold pretty quick.
right. But so Maryland's a nice place. What part
From
of
what I've
Maryland
seen.
you thinking?
Baltimore. I have a friend that lives in Baltimore.
Baltimore. Okay, stay in the harbor.
Yeah, yeah. I
Stay
know.
in the harbor. That's what I've been told about Baltimore. You're in the harbor or you're dead.
Yeah,
So
I'll probably be staying with him.
good luck.
Yeah, he lives in a safe neighborhood,
Okay.
but he's been asking me for a while to come out and just hang out if I ever couldn't get out. So I'm like, well, I got a whole week off, so I might spend a couple days there. And
I'm told Baltimore is actually a pretty cool place.
yeah, I've never
Like
never
once
got
you
to
get
experience
down,
it.
down near the harbor,
Yeah, save space.
is a neat place.
Yeah,
Joe Compton, congrats, sir, from a retired corporal. So
I
there you
will
go.
let him know. Thanks, Joe.
Forward that congratulatory. Joe Compton texted me, actually called me earlier today.
Yeah,
He's got new ideas for the show. It's what I love about Joe.
yeah,
Joe's always got new ideas for the show. He's like, here's what you got to do on Mind Snacks.
yeah,
I'm like, all right, Joe. And then he texted me the idea, and I'm not going to share it.
yeah.
But he texted me the idea tonight when I was out here, and I was like, that actually seems pretty fun. So Joe Compton coming with what I would say is a better idea than Casey's Pizza, but maybe not. I don't know. I loved it when we had Joe on when he come home from Kuwait.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yes, it was awesome.
Then we had him in here one night. We had Casey's Pizza and Lone Star beer. I don't know why, but I felt poor. And I know that's not the case,
Right.
but I just was like,
Felt
man,
dirt. You felt dirty.
I feel like, yeah, I'm a little like I feel
Yeah.
dirty, which from my understanding is the way Joe likes it. So.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, have you met him?
Right.
But congratulations, Joe. I saw your comment. Sober since April 8th. Congrats, dude. That's awesome. You can do it. Keep it up, man.
Was that not your Joe? Was that not your graduation party, April 8th? Because I think he got so hammered at his graduation party that he can't stomach it again. And
Yeah,
if that's the choice you're making, awesome. Whatever. the
Regardless
reason.
of why, congrats.
Yeah, right.
Awesome,
Yeah,
but, like,
regardless of why. Look,
if it was that, then you must have got pretty hammered.
well, there was all kinds of stories. I'm talking about retirement party.
Yeah.
Sorry, not graduation party. I did fuck that up. Correct, Joe. Thank you. Your retirement party. Was that what that was? April 8th? Tell us in the comments. But apparently Joe was so wasted. Apparently he met a woman and he's never been able to reconnect with her since then because he barely remembers meeting her. But he knows
At his party?
But he knows he was impacted. Did you ever meet Mrs. Wright, Joe? Did you ever finally
How do you
figure out
not
who it
know who
was?
she is?
Oh, he's so drunk.
Did no one else there know who she was? Did she just like float in like a gypsy and just disappear?
I guess she was the neighbor.
Go back to the neighbor's house and be like, "Are you Mrs. Wright or Miss Wright? Do you want to be Mrs. Wright?"
Remember that time? We shared moments. Okay? There were moments shared. But if you're just joining the program, Tyler Me out tonight, personal day. Kyle Killinger here in the studio hanging out with me. We're going to have some conversation. We talked about some of the things we should talk about.
We can talk about whatever you want.
We thought with Tyler gone,
Anything's on the table.
Well, Tyler's never taken anything off
Right.
the table. That's mostly me. But it's like, pfft, you want to talk about Ted Nugent?
Yeah.
We can talk about whatever. There was really no plan. So I had a plan. At Savannah of Gatorland is Joe's next. Savannah
Savannah.
of Gatorland.
I've not seen that or heard of that one.
Who is that? Is that Gatorland a show?
Aaron knows her parents. Her parents are his neighbors.
Oh, okay.
Sober me says I'm good being single. I agree.
Okay.
I
Hey,
agree, Joe. Same.
Heck yeah.
Same.
Heck yeah. Single life. That's where it's at, says the married man.
It's better for me. It's better for everyone else too. I promise. Like it really is.
The married life is working for me. It's
And that's
working.
good, yeah.
It's working well. I'm enjoying my family.
Yeah.
And
That's
we
good.
have our ups and downs and our roller coasters.
Right.
But I will tell you this: there is value in the single life too.
Yeah.
There's value in it, and if you think that's where you're better off, then you're probably right.
Yeah.
Then you're probably right. I got to a point where I was in it for so long. I was single for so long. I was like, all right, it's time to do something.
Right.
And then I met a 5'2" ball of fucking fire. Dude, people always ask me like what our life's like at home. It's a constant fucking roast. And it's her roasting me. Like every fucking day.
Right.
Every fucking day. I'm reminded that I'm old.
I would give you shit too.
I'm called Pappy. Today I came home, my feet hurt. Plantar fasciitis is starting to act up again.
That's fun stuff.
It's not fun.
I know.
It's not fun
Sarcasm.
at all. Yeah. So I lost some weight last time I had it, and it helped. Well, now I've gained a bunch of weight, and here we are. Let me know when I need to put in the vacation day for my idea, please, Sean. I'll let you know, Joe. I'm thinking 2 weeks from today is what I'm thinking, but I'm not positive on that yet. I think 2 weeks from today is when we're going to do that, Joe. I like the idea.
I'm curious. I want to know.
Yeah, do 2 weeks from today. Let's just do that. Let's just write it down. Let's get you back out here. Send it. He's sober now, so I don't have to be presented with another Lone Star.
There you go.
You know. Speaking of sober, where you at?
Somebody asked me right before the show. I am 2 years, 3 months, and in like 2 hours, I'll be 7 days. So that's 826 days.
That's crazy.
Never in my life would I thought I'd be here. Doing
That's
that, saying that,
crazy.
and enjoying that.
And I don't think you're a guy that had a drinking problem.
I did.
You thought you did?
I did.
See, I
that's
never saw that part of you.
That's the thing, because no one knew how bad it was.
Yeah. Now, what I did do yesterday was I was combing through old Mind Snacks videos with you on because I was trying to find when we did the Beast Challenge.
Oh yeah.
I created a reel yesterday because that was the whole thing. I wanted to create a reel. Stretches Sean, that's the only way for Plantar. Yeah, last time it sucked.
Go buy a tennis ball.
Stretches make it go away. I've got tennis balls and golf balls that I use for that. Stretches make it go away. Also, losing weight will help it stay away. I've just ballooned. I used to always just maintain weight, and then all of a sudden, in the last month, last 6 weeks, just ballooning. I've gained like 15 pounds.
Yeah.
I'm like, shit. I got to do something.
I've gained a lot since my first surgery.
Yeah.
September.
Right.
I've gained a lot. I hate it.
But I was combing through Mind Snacks footage, and I saw where you showed up for my birthday, and you had like a Party in the USA shirt on, which I also own that same shirt. And just seeing you like with the long straight hair, and I was mind blown. I was like, fuck, that's Kyle.
Who is that guy?
Yeah.
It's not me no more.
And then, of course, I made the reel yesterday, which if you people need to start watching the reels, okay, on the Mind Snacks Facebook page. We're making reels now, okay? We're trying this.
I've seen a couple of them.
Trying to win this social media game. Is what I'm trying to do. It's not going well.
It's
2 days in.
It's a tough game.
2 days in, it's not going well. But I ended up finding footage from the one chip challenge, and
Yeah.
which is the last time you drank.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And of course, it was a Halloween episode. We didn't sell the Halloween episode very well. You, however, showed up as Jesus. Right.
Imagine that.
Right. And I got to thinking about it as I was clipping, video for this reel. I was like, holy shit, that's the last time he drank.
Yeah. I'd like to watch that again sometime.
Jaden says, that's easy challenge. Which challenge? The one chip? Yeah. The one chip, this guy had no problem with it.
Yeah.
I didn't do it. The
You should.
next time we do it, I will.
You should.
I'm told the chip's hotter. Of course, you did the last one. You got the chip that was supposedly hotter. So I just fucking said supposedly. The chip that was supposedly hotter,
Yeah.
and you put hot sauce on it.
Yeah.
'Cause you're a fucking animal. But you had no problems with it.
It's okay. I mean, a lot of that stuff's just mindset. Like, yeah, it's really hot. Don't get me wrong, but doing this whole crazy faces and snotting out my nose and shit is not going to make it any better.
You've done a lot of the hot stuff. What's the hottest thing you've ever eaten? Of all the challenges, what's the worst one?
The worst one or the hottest? Because I don't know what the hottest one is. The worst one I ever did was I ate the world's hottest sausage. It was called the Valhalla Death Sausage. It had like 16 different peppers in it.
Yeah.
It was amazing, but I let it spoil, and I didn't know it until after I ate it,
Oh.
and it came back out
Oh.
both ends.
Is it just as hot?
It was so much hotter coming back out.
No shit.
Both ends.
Oh, that's terrible.
I was I all night long. I actually did it on our podcast when we were doing the podcast, Full Metal Crane Eaters, and I had to call in to work the next day because I was still puking when I had to get up to go to work.
Jesus.
I was shaking. Oh, it was horrible.
God.
Hottest thing?
What's the hottest?
Man, I don't know.
Were the nuts hot?
Yeah, the nuts were up there.
What are they? The death nuts or whatever?
I did the Death Nut Challenge, and then the Tube of Terror.
The tube of terror. That's what I was
That one.
thinking of.
That was probably the hottest thing I've ever eaten,
Yeah.
and that was I barely got through that,
Yeah.
and I couldn't do it without drinking. Like that was just I got like halfway through maybe. I don't remember if it was halfway, but I couldn't do it without drinking, and then even drinking doesn't help it at all.
No.
That's what.
You basically need bread or some shit like that.
Yeah,
But
like
it
there's
got,
different things that you can use, but nothing will take it away immediately.
yeah, I've done a couple of different ones now here.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's anything that's ever been that hot. But there was one sauce that we had that I thought was going to put me in my grave. I thought I was done. And nothing helped.
Yeah.
Nothing helped. I could drink whatever I wanted. I could eat whatever I wanted. Didn't matter. Didn't help.
There are certain things you can do, like if you can just swallow it, and that's the best thing to do. Don't let it
touch anything.
Anything, but
that's not the point.
yeah, if it's one of
That's
where a
not
lot of
the
people
game.
make mistake with the chip challenge is they'll lick their lips or they'll bite it with their get it on their lips, and that's worse to me than the mouth heat.
Yeah.
Let my lips be on fire because there's nothing. I mean, you can drink and the drink's not going to touch that.
Right.
But I have the toe of Satan at the house. I haven't tried yet.
Have you tried the gummy bear?
I have 2 of them at the house.
Do you?
My son is begging me to let him try one. And I was like, I will not let you try one of those. 2. I was like, A, your mom would kill me. 2, yeah, no, I don't feel no. He's too young for that. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, he's almost 11, but he likes spicy stuff. But I'm like, this isn't just spicy, dude. This is like going to ruin gummy bears for you forever.
This is meant to harm
Yeah.
your fucking mouth.
Yeah. Yeah, and I won't let a little kid try that because
No.
I don't think because I don't want it to ruin gummy bears for me because that's one of my favorite
Sure.
things too. But
I did find out that I could ruin sour candy for myself.
how was that?
So when we went on the cruise in March, we drove to Florida to Port Canaveral, and we stopped at all the Buc-ee's. Always stopped and got snacks and
been
shit
there.
like that. Never been to Buc-ee's?
Never been. I want to go.
Interesting experience, Buc-ee's. My wife will cross states to go to Buc-ee's.
Yeah,
She loves it.
I have a bunch of friends that are all about it. I've never been.
She will literally redirect herself 4 hours out of the way to go to Buc-ee's.
right.
And I don't get that. It's cool. Don't get me
Right.
wrong. It's a gigantic gas station with like everything you could ever want. There's shopping. It's all one big room, but they've got all kinds of food. They've got packaged food, fresh food. Like it's cool.
Yeah.
You walk in the place, they make their own cashews and nuts and shit there. So the place just smells like warm
I wouldn't know, but
nuts. You can't smell anything still?
not since I was like 15.
God damn.
Not COVID though.
That's pre-COVID.
Yeah.
That's pre-COVID. But it's amazing.
I bet. It looks cool.
At the same time, I don't necessarily get the hype
Yeah.
behind Buc-ee's. Like, okay, cool. Like, I'd wear a T-shirt.
Yeah.
I took a picture with their little beaver or whatever. I thought that was cool. But that was it. Like, I'm good. I don't need to go to another one.
Yeah.
You know, I will if it's at the exit where I need gas.
Yeah. Not going to redirect yourself 4 hours ago.
No. But so we stopped at Buc-ee's, stopped at all these other places, and I bought sour candy everywhere you could possibly think to buy sour candy. Everything I got was, I'm going to try some, I want to find more sour shit. Let's find the most sour shit we can find. Went to Buc-ee's. Let's find the most sour shit they have. So much sour candy consumed that when we got off the cruise and got headed back home, they were like, "You want to stop and get more sour candy?" I was like, "No."
Never.
To this day, dude, that's been 2 months ago.
Yeah.
My wife bought Nerd Clusters today. One of my favorites. Get that shit
Not
away
interested.
from me. Sour Patch Kids, get that shit away from me. I've ruined myself for sour candy. I don't know how long it's going to last
Yeah.
because I fucking love sour candy. My kid, she's always like, "Hey, happy Father's Day. Here's some sour candy."
Yeah.
Like, sweet. I've ruined sour candy for myself.
That's crazy.
Yeah, not a fan because I know how much I love it, but I don't want any part of it.
Yeah.
So same could apply for gummy bears. You eat a gummy bear that destroys your life. I may not.
My roommate, he asked, he's like, would you ever like pull a prank on somebody like that? I was like, no. Like, it would be funny if I knew the person could handle it.
It'd be funny, but
I would feel horrible because I know a lot of people don't like spicy stuff, and they're like, oh yeah, they're had a long day at work, just get home, I'm gonna relax. Oh, there's a bowl of gummy bears sitting on the coffee table. Grab a handful and just like ruins your whole day. I would be I'd be mad if somebody did it to me, even though
100%.
I like spicy stuff. I'd get a laugh at it later. Don't get me wrong, but
no, Braden, I'm not a White Sox fan now. I've got lots of MLB T-shirts, baseball over everything. I got a lot.
I want to go to a Cubs game with you.
Oh man, I need to get to Wrigley this year.
I've never been.
I need to get to Wrigley, but they'll be in Cincinnati again real soon. So
It's not the same,
it's not. Cincinnati's a cool ballpark, though.
is it?
Yeah, it's a cool ballpark, and they've got Cincinnati food, which I absolutely love.
Right.
But it's not the same as Wrigley. No, Wrigley is definitely it's like church
Yeah.
for me.
I went to a Padres game when I was in San Diego. I went to a Giants game when I was in San Francisco.
Sweet.
But that's the thing; it's the only professional.
I would like to go.
The Giants field is.
I think
stadium's amazing.
I think it's AT&T Park or something, whatever it is in San Francisco, with the Cove.
Yeah.
Over the right field bleachers. I think it'd be pretty cool. Wrigley is a shithole. Okay, Braden, you can go fuck yourself. We will fight. For those of you listening on the podcast, I am currently fighting with my friend Braden, who just called Wrigley Field a shithole. That's like,
It's okay, Braden. You can be wrong.
my God. Now, here's what people mean when they say that, because they have valid points.
I mean, Chicago is
Even the part of Chicago Wrigley's in, though, is not.
right.
It's awesome. But here's what people mean when they say that about Wrigley Field. It's not comfortable
Right.
at all. If you are seated in the lower part, but up too far under the upper deck, you will likely have some sort of your view obstructed by a column.
Right.
It's old. I mean, there's
yeah.
a couple of bathrooms where you still piss in troughs.
Yeah.
But as much renovating as they've done, they've tried to maintain a lot of that old character
Yeah.
because of what it is.
Exactly. Yeah.
To somebody who didn't like, I don't think there's anybody, including Braden, who wasn't like jacked to go to Wrigley for their first time.
Right.
But for people to not want to go back that aren't Cub fans or I can understand how people would be soured by a Wrigley Field experience if it meant something else to them. It means something completely different to me.
Right.
So I get where a lot of people say that. I get where they're coming from.
Yeah.
But on my fucking podcast, you will not call Wrigley Field a dump ever again. Blocked, piece of shit. Braden, it's always nice to hear from you, though. Always good to hear from you. Do you know Braden?
I don't think so.
Yeah, good people. Good people. It's the experience and the history, of course. So when I went to Wrigley, not the first time, but the first time I ever took a tour, we got with this tour guide who admitted to us that he was a White Sox fan. Instantly, I'm like, you don't know shit. So there was a small group of us, about 20, taking this tour. It's a game day tour, so you don't get to go in the dugout or clubhouse, but it's still a neat tour. But they're asking all these questions. And every question they're asking, I'm like,
You pick me, pick me.
pick me, pick me. But nobody else was raising their hand. Nobody. So every time they're like, all right, guy. I'm like, oh, I know the answer. And I got them all right. And there was even one occasion where he said something and it was not wrong what he said, but there were more details he could have included about certain thing he said. And
Yeah.
I made sure to include them.
Shit.
And then
Coming for his job.
they don't let me go on the tour anymore. No, but yeah, I was that nerd that was like, oh, I know. And of course, the person I was with at the time, my ex-wife, she was like, I fucking hate you.
God, would you shut up?
And I'm like, yeah,
Take the tour. No.
No, I know the answer to that shit. Can you call on me? Because you're probably going to get it wrong. And some idiot in this group of 20 is probably going to get it wrong. And we don't have time for that shit.
Yeah.
One thing I've never gotten to do that I want to do is go into the scoreboard.
That would be neat.
That's an exclusive fucking tour, though.
Really?
You got to know somebody.
Huh.
You have to know somebody and get a complete hookup to go into the scoreboard. That scoreboard's been operated by the same family since it was put up.
Really?
Yeah. And they don't just
Wow.
let anybody in there to see that fucking operation.
That's cool.
Because
I didn't know that.
you know what I'm talking about, the
Yeah.
big green center field scoreboard.
Yeah.
That's a fucking 100% manually done scoreboard. Like there's a team of people in there that everything that
That's
goes on that
fucking- I
scoreboard.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Same family has done it since that scoreboard was put up.
Oh.
That's my kind of like bucket list. Like that's the one thing. Like I could go to Chicago any off game day and buy a clubhouse tour. I'd love to go to the clubhouse. I've never been.
Yeah.
But you can go buy that whenever you want. You get a scoreboard tour, that's you have to know somebody.
Right.
You have to know a hookup or get some sort of inside information, piggyback on someone's invitation, whatever it is. That will be my my Everest, is to see the inside of the Wrigley Field scoreboard.
Well, I'll put that on my notes.
So
I know a lot of people.
I can't believe that comment's still just. I wish people would make comments so that Braden's comment goes away. I don't need Wrigley as a shithole just hanging out there in the
Just
comments.
staring at you in the face.
Because every time I look at it, it triggers me. You know what happens when I get triggered? Volume increases.
You know what's wrong with? Never mind.
Yeah. I'll tell you what else is wrong with this fucking country. This shit happens. I can't get over this. I spilled, and I would show you in the camera, but it would be very difficult. I spilled a bunch of Frank's Red Hot on my right leg today at work. And every time I look down, there it is.
You're like,
Just
damn it, Frank.
chilling right there. Frank's Red
Frank.
Hot. Frank's. Also, spoiler. 3 more comments there, Braden. Also, spoiler. Ziggy's buffalo sauce is Frank's Red Hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a little nugget I'll let out. Damn it. I know.
You gotta keep that shit locked down, man. Like the Krabby Patty recipe, man.
Nah, people put that shit on everything.
That's right. I got to do the tour of the Cowboy Stadium when I ran through there.
Yeah, so
That was amazing.
tell me about that, because I've never asked. Oh God, He's doing his best.
One more.
Braden,
One more.
what a guy. What a guy. Now, Rob
Rob
is a Cardinals fan.
Yep. I know.
So he doesn't want to hear that shit either. Braden, I know Adam is a Cardinals fan. Are you a Cardinals fan too? Because, man, that would be really unfortunate considering they can't keep a stadium around.
That's when you need the crickets.
No, I actually now that you say that, I remember that. Don't get me started on the fucking White Sox ballpark. Okay, the ballpark itself might be nice. The train ride there will get you murdered.
You have to take a train there? Pretty much.
I think it's probably the safest way. I wouldn't leave my car anywhere near that ballpark.
I don't know if I've been on that side or not.
If
I have, it's been a long time. So
that ballpark is in a pretty sketchy area.
yeah.
Yeah, but hey, you know what? Nothing like Frank Thomas and the White Sox. I got no issue. Look, I was happy as hell in 2005 when the White Sox won the World Series. Finally, somebody in Chicago got one.
That's the year I graduated.
In 2005?
Yeah.
Fuck, you're young.
18 years.
Is it you're young or I'm old?
We are getting older.
Jesus. You tell me you graduated in 2005. Listen, my wife was born in 1993. I vividly remember 1993.
I remember 93.
Vivid memories of 93. I lost an elementary school basketball championship game in 1993 that I haven't all the way gotten over.
Yeah.
You want to know how?
I believe it.
I can prove that I'm not all the way over it.
I believe you.
I can name probably 6 or so of the players that were on the Parkside elementary team that beat us.
I've heard this story actually.
I tell this story often because I can't get it out of my brain. We lost 33-30. Okay. This is a 6th grade basketball game that happened in 93, and I can't let it go. I can't.
And your wife was born in 93?
This might have been when I peaked. Actually, that happened before she was born. This was January of 93, February of 93 maybe. My wife was born in September. But yeah, so this is I deserve all the comments I get at home, the pappy shit and all that. It's good times. It's real good times. But what she loves the best is the CPAP machine that I don't hardly ever use. Yeah, this is we're getting fucking old, Kyle.
I know.
Kyle, every day.
This month is 18 years since I graduated.
18 years.
That blows my mind.
This would be what this year was 24.
Yeah.
24. Yeah, it was 99.
Yeah.
24 years. That should have been easier math. Now that I think about it, that should have been way easier math. But yeah, 24 years out of high school. Now,
where's that time went, man?
Yeah.
But I think that I've turned my life around. I got to do some pretty cool shit though.
You have done awesome shit. And I
don't do it to boast about, but like
no.
I can't.
But listen, and this is I've been thinking a lot about this. One day, hopefully, you'll be on your deathbed. You'll know your time has come.
I think about it every day.
And you'll be there and you'll reflect on everything you did. And you have some awesome shit to reflect on, dude.
I hope that I'm just getting started too. Because like I've got like at some point it's like, what else can I do to top that? It's not about topping that. It's just like, what else can I do to put something in my mind when I'm on my deathbed? Like, hey, I remember that.
To continue.
You did that. You did that.
I always heard this a long time ago, and it resonated with me. Kind of spend your whole life writing your own eulogy.
Yeah.
Write your own fucking story. Because one day you're gonna look back at everything and be like, "Did I fucking live?"
Yeah.
That's the only thing I want to know.
Yeah.
Did I live?
That dash between your year of birth and your death date.
And you're getting ready.
What happens in that
dash? Yeah. And you're getting ready to tell me about your tour of Cowboy Stadium. And you ran through. Did you run through Cowboy Stadium?
I was running through.
Because I know Texas took care of you when you got to Texas.
They did. Texas took me the longest, but Texas took the best care of me.
Well,
Better than Indiana.
do you know Texas was, hey, we tried. We tried real hard.
Yeah.
Texas takes a long time to drive through, so
And I didn't go I could have went just on the top part and just went straight through,
sure.
or I could have even missed Texas altogether.
Well, you went down into Texas to meet a friend, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or
Parents of
parents
friends.
of a friend, yeah.
Yeah, he had guy I went to boot camp with. I can never remember his first name because we never knew each other's first names. But
Right.
his name was Ted Moody. He had passed away. I forget what year it was, and I didn't know he had passed away. I had found out on Facebook because I wished him a happy birthday on Facebook, and his mother private messaged me, and she said, "I don't know how you know my son, but he passed away," and I felt like an asshole,
You shouldn't have.
but I didn't know.
Hindsight.
I messaged her back and I was like, "I'm so sorry, I didn't know. I would have never said that." I went to boot camp with your son. We were in the same platoon. Blah 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 blah. I remember him one of the people that stood out the most in boot camp because he was 6'5", and everybody else was maybe 6 foot. But he was the funniest dude, always trying to make people laugh. When we couldn't laugh, he's always across the squad bay from us trying to make us laugh and getting us in trouble. But yeah, when I got because they lived in Granbury, Texas, southwest of Dallas, and I got there, and the whole town showed up. His dad is a sergeant major in the Army, so he told everybody and their brother.
Sure.
They showed up.
Sure.
It was a little bit bigger than Hope, but it was a town square like that.
Yeah.
Where I ran into, and when I got done, one of the ladies that was there, she's like, "Hey, a little Texas hospitality," and hands me a beer, and I was like, "I really appreciate that, but I don't drink." And she's like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, I don't drink." But
Can
thank
you believe I'm doing all this
Yeah.
sober?
Yeah, right. But Texas was such amazing. I met so many good people there. But when I got to I can't remember the name of the town that Cowboy Stadium is in. It's not Dallas.
Arlington.
Yeah. My route from Granbury to Oklahoma City was basically straight through there. And I told Mike, my driver, and I was like, "Hey, I want to go take a detour over there to see two things." I said, "I want to go see Cowboy Stadium. Even if we can't take a tour," I said, "I want to see it." And I am not psychic, but Granbury was amazing. And I'm not just saying that to make it.
No, it was a whole thing. He was
crazy.
on the news and shit.
Yeah.
It was a big deal.
Yeah.
When you stopped in Granbury.
Yeah, I stayed there for a couple days. I was 3 days, I think. I got that was one of the worst things too. Before I get to the stadium, when I got to Granbury the next day, I went and got somebody paid for me to get a massage by a professional therapist or whatever. I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be great. I love this."
You've been running across stage. You got hammer toe and shit. And you're like,
Dude.
"Here you go. Fucking get it."
And he was like, "Do you care how hard this sounds really weird. How hard I go on your leg?" And I was like, "Dude, whatever you want.
Go ham.
Go all the way if you want." He was like, "All right." So
See that lube? Save
while
it.
he was doing it, it felt great. I left, and the next morning I could not get out of bed for 3 days.
Really?
My legs would not bend. My calves locked. Would not bend. I could not walk for 3 days hardly. But I was there for the weekend anyways, so it wasn't like I didn't miss any time running. But that was probably the worst my legs have ever hurt in my life.
Really?
Hands down. Because
After a massage.
yeah, the morning after, he's like, "Yeah, you might be a little sore. Here's some cream. Rub it on your legs. It'll help with the soreness." I'm like, "Ah, that's cool. I'm used to it being sore, but no, could not bend my leg at all."
That's wild.
But got to Arlington, and Mike's didn't really want to go see it. I was like, "Oh," he's like, "I'll just hang out here in the RV and map out the next couple stops." Blah blah blah. I was like, "All right, cool." So I went in there and I asked the lady, I was like, where do I sign up to do a tour? And she was like, "Oh, you have to go on your phone, blah, blah, blah. Scan this QR code and you're good to go." Went through all the steps and I was waiting. They're like, "We have about 10 minutes before the tour starts." And there was a security guard, big, huge security guard standing in the corner. And I went over and asked him a question. I don't remember when I asked him. I might have asked him where the bathroom was or something. And he's like, "Man, you're awful sunburned. Why is your face so red?" I was like, I'm running across the country. He's like, "What?" Sat there and talked to him for like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Like they held the tour because I was talking to him still about it. And he was like, "That's amazing," and what I was doing it for. And so he's like, "Come here and talk to me before you leave. I want to call somebody, have you talk to them." I'm like, "Okay." So went on the tour, and that place was built in 2007.
Yeah,
something like
something
it's
like that.
been. I'm not exact year, but
Yeah, within the last 20 years.
yeah, that place looks like it was open yesterday.
Yeah.
Immaculate. There's not like the seats are like brand new, like the floor is spotless. It's crazy. But we went all the way down to the field. Got to walk on the field. They were having a draft party that day too. So a third of the field was blocked off, had tables and stuff.
Yeah.
But the other 2/3 of the field was open. You could run around, take pictures, do whatever you wanted. And that was really neat. Got to go in the cheerleaders' locker room, the Cowboys locker room and everything.
Right.
And the press booth or press office box, whatever it's called. Go through that. Got to go through everything but Jerry's office.
Really?
And Jerry's elevator. He's got his own personal elevator. It's a one-person elevator.
Huh.
But that place is like, they were telling me like how much the AC units, what they could power if they were powering houses. It would power like a whole city.
That's sick.
Just the air conditioners and the heaters. But like the TV in there, it was like state of the art. Like no one had a TV like that at that point, because that's why it's AT&T Stadium, because they get all the technology before anyone else does.
Sure.
Because that's like, he didn't care about the money. Like who spawned, like he had everybody throwing him money to put their name on the building. Who wouldn't want that, And they made a deal with AT&T. I forget exactly what the specifics were, but something along the lines. They get all the technology that AT&T gets before anyone else.
Huh.
But that place was so awesome.
Yeah.
I would love to go back for a game. I'm not a huge I'm not into sports like I used to be, like you are.
Yeah.
But I would still love to go see a game there just to feel that.
Sure. Well, any place that holds 100,000 people
Yeah.
has got to be fucking electric.
Yeah, because I forget, 4 or 5 floors high. Because when you go in, you go down a level.
Sure.
But then after that, I went and saw where Dimebag Darrell and Vinnie Paul were buried.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, wasn't far from there at all.
Wow.
Like 15 minutes or something like that. And I got to go. There's a couple other celebrities that are buried in that cemetery there, and I wanted to go see their grave sites and stuff. It was really neat because people go and they'll throw guitar picks or change or
Right.
blunts or roaches, just throwing them out on the graves. It was really neat, just something a little different.
Right.
And I was like, well, I'm here, so I wanted to see it.
Might as well.
Yeah, but I mean, there's not a state that I didn't enjoy. Like even Missouri, there wasn't a lot in Missouri to do. In Illinois, there was where my route was. It's still amazing though. Like just meeting the people in the small towns and this, like RV parks and stuff. I would never got that anywhere else.
Right.
So
That's got to be an experience.
yeah, that's why I can't wait to get my books done. Because there's I could write a whole book about that.
How's the process or the progress on the
It's
book?
slow. I'm dragging my feet a lot because I'm just being lazy.
You have somebody writing it for you, correct?
Yeah, sort of.
Okay.
So we're basically, I'm telling the stories, and then we're transcribing everything, and then the editor is cutting everything out that's not needed.
Okay.
So it's a long process because there are certain things that I want in the book that people will probably not really enjoy reading, but it's my book.
Sure.
It's part of my story. That's why it's not going to be just a story about that.
I don't
it's
know
gotta give
what-
me I got to give you a backstory of why I'm where I am now.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what people wouldn't want to read.
It's not about necessarily not wanting to read. It's more about myself. It's like letting myself be that vulnerable
Yeah.
in front of people that I will never meet.
Right.
People that
Sure.
are going to read that I'll never meet. Like it's one thing to tell my friends, the stupid shit that I've done and all the crap that I've done, bad decisions and all that, but and going in detail with all that. It's not just like, oh yeah, I went to jail once. No.
Yeah.
I fucked my life up to where I thought that I couldn't fix it. And it could have been a lot worse. I'm not saying there's people out there that have it way worse than I ever did.
Sure.
But, I was on that road where it wasn't going to be very good if I kept going. And then there's certain things, small things even, like just that have all right, well, we're going to take a right turn here on this road right now instead of left. Because if you keep going left, you're going to just keep digging yourself in this hole.
Sure.
Fine, man. All right. The hardest thing is taking that first step. I'll take it right this time.
Right.
You know, enough of those, and here I am. I'm not the best, but I'm a hell of a lot better than I was
Right.
2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years ago.
Well, that's the goal, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're only in competition
And
with you.
I never lived like that until now, like the past few years. I never cared about bettering myself or just trying to be better than I was the day before.
Right.
Why? Why was I not trying to do that?
Right.
You know, I wasted a lot of years just blending in and just going with the wave, going with the motions, and now I'm like, nope.
I don't want to do that.
You guys do that. That's cool, man. I
Right.
want to go do what I think I need to do.
Sure.
You know, I know no disrespect or anything, hate towards anybody that does things that I don't do.
Right.
That's part of your story.
Sure.
You know, one of my good friends, the guy that I'm actually going to go see his retirement ceremony, his son, 18-year-old son, had I think he said 2 or 3 strokes a couple
18
weeks ago.
years old.
3 strokes. Yeah.
Jesus.
And he's a senior in high school, and he's really upset. Obviously, that would change anybody's life. But 18 years old, he's asking all these questions like, "Why is this happening to me?" and stuff. And I'm like, "There's nothing you can tell anybody that's going to make things better when those things happen."
Sure.
And you know, I had a good talk with his dad, and people have reached out to him and like, you know, as bad as this sucks right now, I was like, "This is part of your story." He's like, "This is going to help you later on in your life." You know, and we don't see that. There's so many things like I've done like that are going in my book. Like I never seen what the good, not necessarily good, but what is this going to teach me that I can take later in my life and help somebody or help myself.
Hindsight's 20/20.
Yeah.
I think what's up, Corey? How you doing, brother? I think as you're going through those things and you don't really understand why you are where you are, what it is you're doing.
Yeah.
I think part of that is realizing that you don't get to you'll eventually figure it out.
Yeah.
You know, because when you're young, you're just raw dogging life. You
Right.
know, it doesn't seem like anything. It's nothing spectacular. You don't realize that you're molding yourself into what you're going to be.
Yeah.
So you just kind of take it all. Really, like you just kind of take it all for granted.
You do. Absolutely. Yeah.
The good and the bad. Like you just write it off as just it's just another thing I did.
Yeah.
You know, but there's so much of that goes into creating who you are today.
Yeah.
And Jesus Christ, if I could have a conversation with 15-year-old me, there's a lot of things I would tell him,
Yeah.
but I think some things I wouldn't.
Right. No, and that's the thing. Like people always ask, if you could go back and change one thing, what would it be? Nothing. Not a single thing.
Right.
Like, I don't like some of the things that I did, for sure. You know, I don't like some of the people that I spent a lot of my time with. I don't like some of the decisions that I made, you know. But chances are I probably wouldn't be here doing what I'm doing now.
I really, really would love 15-year-old me to know that, like, working hard in high school isn't hard.
Right. No, you think it is.
It's the easiest thing you'll ever do. And I
Yeah.
didn't do that.
Right.
And, for a lot of years, I paid the price for that.
Yeah.
It's not hard.
Yeah.
Trust me, if you think this is hard, it's only going to get worse.
Yep.
Like, other than that, no. I do the same shit. You got arrested?
I've been in jail twice.
Really?
Yeah.
Fucking hard ass.
No. And it's funny because, like, I have been arrested twice and I've been in jail both times. But I think combined total of maybe less than 3 days.
Yeah.
But
Did I ever tell you the story when I got arrested? Have you heard that?
No.
No, it's a good story. So I moved out east for a couple of years. And then when I came back, I had a North Carolina driver's license. And I was driving my friend JT's Fiero. He was in the passenger seat. His license was suspended.
right.
So when the cops ran his plate, it was attached to a driver who was suspended. So they pulled me over.
Right.
JT was in the passenger seat. I'm in the driver's seat with my valid North Carolina license. They take my license and they run it. And they come back and they say, stayed out of the Army. Lots of things shaped and molded you to who you are today, though, Rob.
That's right.
Hockey sounds fun, but
It
God,
does.
I think I'm too big of a pussy to play hockey. Hockey and like
Yeah, I am for sure.
those guys take fucking shots. But so he takes my license, my North Carolina license, and he runs it in his car, comes back and he says, I need you to get out. Excuse me? Because I need you to step out of the car. And I was like, okay. It's kind of weird. Apparently, when I moved to North Carolina and got my North Carolina license, my Indiana license was never like washed away. Like whether it was something I had to do or something the B&V or DMV had to do,
Yeah.
I just handed in my Indiana driver's license card, got my shiny new North Carolina one, and was good to go. So I thought.
Yeah.
What it ended up happening is that I didn't have two ID cards, but I was the owner of multiple driver's licenses in multiple states,
Right.
which is illegal.
Is it?
It
I
is.
didn't know that.
It is. And I got arrested for that. Unbeknownst to me. I had no idea that A, that was even a thing, and B, that I was part of that thing.
Yeah.
No clue. So I'm like, all right, I guess I'm going to jail. I called my mom, who always said she would never bail me out. She acted like she would have bailed me out that night because I didn't understand what was
Where were
going
you
on.
at?
Bartholomew County.
Oh, it's here. Okay.
Yeah.
That's at least you weren't
The
like,
best jail ever.
At least you were in like Ohio or something.
Right. She acted like she would, but I was like, I don't want to owe you that money. I don't know what's going to happen. So I did 48 hours in BCJ
Yeah.
for not a crime.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just the most confused person on the planet. My cellmate, this is what confused me about jail. I am having like a back issue over here that I've been fighting the whole time. I don't, just disregard that. My cellmate was on trial for murder.
Yeah.
My other cellmate had just gotten arrested for grand theft auto. The guy on trial for murder had lived in this cell a while. He clearly was owner of the bottom bunk.
Rightfully so.
This other guy was like, hey, man, I'm going to get the top bunk tonight. You go ahead and get it tomorrow. I was like, okay. Because here I am, a 20-year-old quivering pussy
Right.
who is in jail with a guy who murdered a person and this guy who's grand theft auto, which sounds a lot worse than it really is. I mean, stealing a car is bad,
Right.
but they can call it stealing a car. It's
Right.
fucking theft. It's grand theft auto.
What makes it grand theft?
Whoa. I think it's the amount of money, the amount of valuation on what you took.
So if you steal like
Makes
a
it-
Ford
makes it grand
Escort,
theft.
it's
Right.
not grand theft auto anymore.
Right. You steal my 72 Pinto. That's just petty theft, you piece of shit. But
You steal my Altima, and now you're talking grand theft auto.
so I'm sleeping on the floor first night.
That sucks.
And I didn't know any rules. The only things that I knew is I was not taking a shit in that toilet.
Right.
I wasn't doing it. It was not happening. I didn't care if it killed me. I wasn't doing it. That's the only thing that I had come up with in my head. I wake up at like 5 a.m. the next morning to a giant man covering me up with blankets and giving me extra pillows. I look up and I'm like, hey. He's like, hey, man, I got this extra stuff. Might help you be more comfortable. The floor kind of sucks. I'm like,
Damn.
yeah, man. Appreciate you. And I'm like, fuck, am I this guy's bitch now? Like, is this my life? Like, is that how that works?
You gonna drop soap later.
Oh, god damn. I fucking definitely wasn't showering. I knew I was only in there for 2 days.
Right.
Fuck that shower.
Right.
No. But so the only size 12 orange flip-flops they had were broken on the right toe.
Of course.
So, of course, like I got my flips, but my right flip had no fucking toe. So the first night I'm in there, I'm talking to the guy that I was in the cell with. And I remember his name and everything, but I don't want to say it.
Right.
He's probably still in prison. But the first night I'm there, I'm sitting next to him. I'm like looking at the pictures. The guy who normally occupies the cell I was in is a guy I knew who's also on trial for murder.
Damn.
So I'm like, in this bunk, you've got murder, and then weird driver's license guy. Make it make sense. Make it make sense.
Gotcha.
But he asked me, he goes, man, I've never seen you in here before. Like, what are you in for? It's like, I think it's technically driving while suspended, but I don't know. And he's
Right.
kind of looked at me. I was like, oh, yeah.
You're on that show 48 Hours, aren't you?
Oh, yeah.
You're trying to find out what's going on here.
I 100% was like, I've never felt like a bigger bitch in my life. But for whatever reason, and I don't know why I did this, I'll never know why this came out of my mouth. I followed up his question, my answer with,
Why are you in here?
well, what did you do? Turns out he was just a getaway driver. All right. So I'm like, all right, you can still be a stand-up guy.
Right.
You're just helping your friends, right? Kill like this old lady. Like total, I'm such a bitch, dude. I did just shaking in my fucking flips the rest of the fucking time I was in there. The broken flips the rest of the time I was in there, dude. It was awful. And not because anything happened.
Right.
I did have a guy offer me a cigarette, which I'm a smoker. So I was like, fuck yeah, I'll take a cigarette. Well, he comes in with paper and tobacco, which I'm fine with. What I was not fine with was this guy's rolling this cigarette up. I'm like, cool, rolling a little cig, whatever, no big deal. And then he starts to licking it. And he's like just sloppy on it. And he's like, lights it on fire to dry it up. I said, you know what? I think I'm good, dude. Now I'm going to try to quit. I got 48 hours in here. If I don't smoke in here, I can get on the outside and not have a cigarette. But I think I'm never smoking again. Not doing it. That's the first fucking thing when I got out. That's the first thing I asked my mom for. I get out of jail. My brother has a sign. My brother's probably 16 at the time. He had made me a poster board sign that said, "Welcome home, Sean. You're now safe to pick up the soap."
That's awesome.
And he and my mom picked me up in the 84 Cavalier convertible we had. I sat down. I said, "Fuck you, Corey," and I immediately bummed a cigarette off my mom.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's my jail story. And it's a story of just the biggest bitch on the planet is what it is. Like, I was horrified, dude. During my phone call with my mom, I promise you, I asked her, I was like, hey man, all that anal sex stuff, that's prison, right? Like, this is county, right? that's prison, right? This ain't shit that goes on here.
You got to start.
You know what my mom said to me?
What?
I don't know.
You're gonna find out.
The fuck? Lie to me.
Lie
Help
some
me
more.
feel good. Whatever you do, I'm telling you, don't come bail me out. And in hindsight, I should have had her bail me out because I would have got my money back. Because I went to court and didn't get nothing. I walked in, they were like, "Hey man, this is kind of fucked up." I'm like, "Yeah." I was facing.
I just spent 2 days in jail with
I
murder.
was facing losing my license for a year. So when I found out I wasn't going to lose my license for a year, I quickly shut the fuck up, no matter how mad I was.
Right.
You mean you did not discuss this with me? I 100% recall asking you this in my phone call. Mom, you want to go and comment? No, that didn't happen. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. I recall this.
I was there.
I've also over time worked on a comedy sketch with this very story.
Right.
And of course, in every comedy sketch, there's embellishments and this and that. But I didn't embellish that part. That part was fucking true. You literally were like, I don't know. You cried, and I told you I didn't have money for your bail. I know for a fact I didn't want to owe you bail money. I definitely fucking cried.
I would have.
I 100% was like a bawling little baby bitch. Because here's the thing, like, I was a dog shit high school student, but I never did anything wrong.
Nothing to go to jail for. Yeah.
Yeah, like I would.
Egged some houses and TP'd some trees.
I didn't do anything wrong. You know what I mean? I was out past curfew a time or two.
Yeah.
Maybe I bought some condoms from the gas station condom dispenser for a time or two and decorated the bathroom with them. Maybe I've done that. I feel we remember this day a little different. I remember this day vividly because it was a day that will forever live in infamy. Pearl Harbor, 9/11, and the fucking day I got arrested. Okay?
I'll never forget when I got arrested the first time. I mean, it wasn't funny at the time, but the first time was the scariest, for sure.
Do you mind? Can I get the story? Or is that something you don't want to share?
It'll be in the book.
It'll be in the book.
It'll be in the
Okay.
book, yeah.
All right. It'll be in the book. You know, I don't read books, right?
It's gonna be. We're having an audio version.
Fuck yeah.
Dude,
That's the version I'll
Yeah.
get.
Yeah, I'm actually having people talking me into doing a whole like documentary video, doing the book all in one video, and I'm like, I don't want to sit there and do that. We'll see, but
Yeah.
we are doing an audio version because I want people to hear that too. Because like, I'm one of those people that I'll get more out of listening to it than reading it,
Yeah.
and I know there's a ton of people out there that are the same way. So
we have, and I want to know your take on this. That's interesting because I know you listen to audiobooks like when you run and when you do things.
Mhm.
So on the Burroughs Applesauce podcast, which airs live on this fucking channel and the Burroughs Applesauce Facebook page every other Monday night at 7 p.m. Just so you guys know.
be there.
We always discuss, because Derek is into audiobooks big time.
Okay,
So we always discuss, Mike thinks that's cheating.
how's it cheating?
He says, you're supposed to read.
I can see where he's coming from.
I can't.
I can't because I mean that. I don't
Because
agree,
the-
but
the-
I can see his view.
The appeal to reading has always been when you read something, you get a better version of the story because the version of the story that you see was created by your own imagination,
Right.
which is a beautiful
Some people's
thing.
imagination sucks.
Which is a beautiful thing. However, you can do that with an audiobook.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Like I listen to podcasts all the time about historical figures and this and that, and I've developed over this 45-minute show, I've developed what these people look like in my head, and I see them, and I Mike Tan
Can't take jokes.
on Burroughs crapple sauce.
That's funny.
But I put this together in my head, and I see this story how I feel like it would unfold,
Right.
and with audiobooks, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like I almost get more from an audiobook.
100%. That's why I tell people to listen to the David Goggins book because there are things in the audio version that are not in the book.
Right.
And to me, I got more out of that story by them telling it to me and me listening
So
to it.
who narrates that book?
Adam Skolnick, the guy who is ghostwriter.
Okay.
So Adam will narrate the chapter, and then at the end of the chapter, they do sort of like a podcast at the end where they break down that chapter and they'll dive into it a little bit more.
So it's David and Adam,
Yes,
and this is then every chapter of the audiobook.
every single chapter.
Fucking perfect.
And
Is
he-
that in both books?
Yes, same narrator and everything. The
Perfect.
second book it's not better, but it is just as good.
Yeah.
Because once you listen to the first book and you hear his childhood and how he grew up and
The
everything.
first books can't hurt me.
Yes.
The second book is
Never finished. Hold on, let me look. But the second book, he actually gets his mom, and David interviews his mom. That, if you can see through that and not get goosebumps or cry, there's something wrong with you.
right.
100%. Because when I heard it, I knew it. Like they were talking about it, and then he's sitting there talking to his mom. It's just him and her, and they're not in the same room. They're in different rooms. But he even asked her, "Are you sure you want to do this?" She's like, "Yeah, I do." It's called Never Finished.
Okay.
It came out about a year ago. Not quite a year. I think it was like October, November, something like that.
Yeah.
And I listened to it the first day, the whole thing in one day. I was like, and it was amazing because he dove more into his childhood, and he talked about how he actually his last encounter with his dad, and he actually he did pass away. He didn't go to his funeral, but they dive into that and talk about his last experience with him and stuff, and even more races that he's done,
Right.
more obstacles that he's overcame. It's just like that stuff is amazing, but the way it's told to me is what caught and gripped me so hard and
Yeah.
drew me in. Like, yeah, it's amazing. Like he did all these things, but the way the story was told was what caught me hook, line, and sinker for sure.
Nice.
And that's what I want to do with my book. I don't want to copy the same thing, but the way the story is told, I want to do the same.
Sure.
Yeah. Same style.
Very cool.
It's daunting because it's also something I've never done, and again, letting myself be that vulnerable, you know. And another reason I don't want to narrate it is because I'm not good with word. Like I can read, but you don't want to hear me read that.
Right.
But I've had people that are like, well, if it's your story, then it doesn't have to be exactly how it is on paper. You can tell the audiobook how you want to tell it. I don't know. It's a decisions.
Yeah.
So I might do. I have a person that I've already asked to narrate the book.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Nice.
It's just I have to do it, and I've done the dedication. I already know I've already written the dedication, and I got the name of the book and everything. I've got chapters like sort of lined out where I want to start.
Sure.
And everything like that. So it's just telling the story and getting it recorded, and then putting it in order and editing out all the crap.
Right on. Do you have a goal for when?
By the end of the year.
By the end of this year?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, my goal is to have it at least written or, some sort of format by the end of this year. That way, hopefully I can get it edited and published by spring.
Spring of 24. Okay.
Because I want to ride, hopefully my goal is if everything works out, stars line just right, I want to ride a bike from Maine to Key West next summer and help promote the book and stop along the way and talk about it in different places and stuff.
Right on.
Because I think I've talked to a bunch of people about it, and they know what's in it, what it's going to be about, and how it's going to impact certain people. And they give me that push that it needs to be out there because they know that it will help people. And that's what I want to do. It's going to be hard to like air out all my flaws and fuck ups, but
right.
People need to hear that because they are in the same boat. They think that they can't fix, they think they're too far gone. No, not even close.
Sure. You are definitely a prime example of that. And there's a Jackie Robinson quote that I think about when you when you say that. And full disclosure, I'm Googling it because I don't want to misquote Jackie Robinson.
Right.
But it is, let me see here. A life is not important except in the impact it has on other lives.
Right. There's a quote. Let me find it. I think it was Benjamin Franklin. I have this on I found it on a plaque at Hobby Lobby about a year and a half ago. When I saw it, I was like, I don't care how much it is, I'm buying it, and it was on sale for like $3. Either write something worth reading or do something worth writing.
Huh.
And I was like, well, that's a sign I need to do that. I need to get this book done because, all the runs and everything that we've done, the push-ups, the hikes, the runs, the veteran outings and getting veterans to where they need to be, all of that, if it helps one single person, it's worth all of it, all the work. And like, I don't know anybody that's involved in those, like those programs or anything like that would disagree, because if they do, they're in it for the wrong reasons.
Right.
So, and I've distanced myself from those people that are in it for those wrong reasons. Like, no disregard on them. They do their thing, but I don't want to be around those people that are doing it for the wrong reasons. And it's hard because you lose people you care about.
You do.
You don't necessarily lose them, but you have to put them at arm's length,
sure,
so they don't detour you from your path.
Right.
So it's hard.
It's deep stuff.
It's stuff every day too. Like I deal with like people that I would do anything for, that would do pretty much anything for me, but I just don't agree with how they do things and why they're doing it for, and again, for the wrong reasons. To me, the wrong reasons. They might not see it that way. And, but it's part of it, man. It's just stand up for what you think's right. And sometimes you got to stand by yourself.
It's tough to do.
Very, yeah.
It's tough to do, but at the same time, if you know you're doing the right thing,
you will eventually surround yourself with the right people doing those things, because
you will. And that's the thing. You'll not only surround the right people will gravitate to you, but you'll avoid yourself of any regret.
Yeah. And that's why, like I said, I wouldn't change anything that I've done.
Right.
Because now I'm to that point now because I know that all of those things, all the the arrest, the addictions, the bad choices, the disrespect to people that I mean a lot to me. It's led me here, and it's led me to where I can help people now. So I got to use that talent to.
I'm glad you're doing that. You realize that you're at a place where you can help, and now you are.
Yeah, it's tough because you still have to take time for yourself to fix those things in your life.
Sure.
And it's very hard to balance both, but you have to do that for yourself first. And it's hard to remember that because I would rather help someone else than help myself.
Right.
But so I just it's hard sometimes because you have to take a step back. And I did that for quite a few months, the end of last year and the beginning of this year, and just slowly getting back into it.
Right.
So I can help everybody else again.
Right on, dude. Well, as always, you're a phenomenal fucking character, man. I love talking to you. And every time we get here, we do this where it gets super deep, and we don't end up talking about Ted Nugent. And
we got a few minutes. We can talk about Ted Nugent.
no, the only thing I want to talk about softball, man.
Yeah,
I didn't know that you were a softballer.
I played for years.
I didn't know that. We got a doubleheader tomorrow night.
I hadn't played since. I'm pretty sure the last time I played was in a tournament for Toyota in 2016.
Yeah.
And after I did that first 300 miles and I played, and I was like, I don't want to play anymore just in case I hurt myself and I can't run.
Sure.
Because, now that I'm getting older, I'm like, but
dude, it's every time I come off the field, I'm like,
I love it.
I can go to work tomorrow, right? Okay, cool.
The first game that I played the next day, I had to physically take my pant leg and lift my legs out of bed because I hadn't been doing anything for 7 months. But
I'm glad that my job requires me to be somewhat physical.
Yeah.
As far as moving around and using my legs.
Yep.
But softball's making that tough. The old plantar fasciitis. It's no good.
I'll send you a link to the insoles that I buy.
Yeah?
They don't, they help a little bit. They give you a little bit more comfort than just regular insoles or just no insoles at all, just regular shoes. And I'll send you the link to the supplement that I take too.
A supplement for?
It helps with joints.
So I've been taking glucosamine chondroitin.
Okay.
For joints.
That's good.
Is what I've taken for a long time.
Yeah. You take it every day?
I have not been. And I'm feeling the effects of that now.
Yeah.
Because that's something that you start taking it and it takes time to settle in.
Yep.
But then you stop taking it
and
and shit just goes back to reset mode.
Yeah.
So I have a bunch. I have a whole host of vitamins that I was taking for a long time. And man, it's every regimen that I was doing to stay healthy, I've kind of let go of.
Same.
And I need to get back on the bullshit, if you will.
Yeah.
But
keeping yourself accountable, it's hard.
You got anything else you want to talk about before we go?
No, I don't think so.
No,
it's been fun, man.
That could be it. Of course, it's been fun. And as always, seems like we just got started a few minutes ago.
It does.
But we're about an hour and 20 in.
Yeah.
So, hour and 10. Whatever.
Yeah.
Something.
Sorry, I didn't know that you were here. I would have came in on time.
That's not a big deal at all. That's not a big deal at all. I should have been like, hey, I didn't drive.
That was all good.
My car's not here. Last week I did that too. And Tyler just, I don't know why, but he just walked in. And he was like, hey, you're here. I'm like, yeah. So anyway, Kyle, I appreciate you always, man. For Kyle and myself, Sean B., this has been the Mind Snacks Podcast. Guys, make sure you're following us on social media, please.
Oh, I do want to say
at Mind Snacks Pod.
Tell us about this merchandise you've been sharing.
Ooh, the Etsy store. Yes. So if you go to www.secondstringmedia.net and go to the blue banner where it says Second String Media Shop, or I believe I've changed it now. It's the store is called Second String Media Fit. But the link to the Etsy store is there. There's all kinds of great products. But it's etsy.com/Second String Media Fit. And all one word. And man, all kinds of great stuff, dude. We've got new products that we're making every day. I'm currently in the design process, trying to get into the T-shirt design game. Not just for logo branded gear from the podcasts, but for other stuff too. Just making random designs and selling some cool shit.
Yeah.
So that's going to continue to grow. But it's on Etsy. It's Second String Media Fit is the name of the store. You can get there from the website, secondstringmedia.net. Go to the blue banner, Second String Media Fit. Tap it. Tap the link. Buy the shit.
Buy it.
Buy the shit. And I apologize for, I tell you what, if anybody, get this out there, if anybody's got that old merchandise from the first merch store we tried, I'll buy that off of you. Because
Oh, you're pulling a Miller Lite?
one day,
You're pulling a Miller Lite right now?
well, I think we sold like 5 things off that site.
Did you hear about that?
No.
Oh, okay. Finish your story.
What are the, yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to buy that stuff back off people because not because I feel like, they got hosed out of their money. They did, but that's not why I want to buy it back. I want to buy it back because I'm like, hey, here's our first run. The products were shit. But Patrick McGuire bought a Mind Snacks hat. First Mind Snacks logo branded gear ever purchased.
Yeah.
And the hat itself was good quality. The print was shit.
Right.
And I don't want him to be stuck with that unless he just wants to. I would rather have that in here
Right.
as like hey, there's the first fucking thing anybody ever bought off our store.
Yeah.
Even though the products were shit. The products we're doing now, I'm using Printify. And,
I was going to ask you about that.
I'm using Printify to fulfill all the orders. Selling everything on Etsy. Those two link up together real well, so it's super easy. It's a great shop, and there's great stuff on there. So thank you for bringing that up because I need to
I was going to ask you
remember.
that, and
I need to remember to plug that shit.
I was watching a clip from Joe Rogan the other day. I don't know who the guest was, but apparently around the same time the whole Bud Light thing happened, Miller Lite put out a commercial that I think it was for like Women's Appreciation or Women's History Month or something like that. Don't quote me, but they're offering to buy back all of the old Miller Lite ads with all the girls in the bikinis and stuff, and they're going to shred them all and get ready and destroy them all because it's degrading to women. I'll send you the link. The clip.
Wow. Yeah, please do.
Yeah, Joe Rogan thought it was pretty funny. And
Yeah, it's different.
I don't because it was talking about how women are like the creators of beer, basically.
Sure.
And whether they're right or wrong, I don't know. Cool if they are. If not, I mean, it doesn't matter to me. I don't care who created beer. I think it's a great invention. Whoever made it,
Yeah, right.
they need the Nobel Peace Prize.
Yeah.
Maybe if the world drank a little more, we might be a little happier.
Yeah. I mean, except for you.
Hey, if you choose to.
Yeah, right.
But I'll send you that clip after that. When we're
Perfect.
done.
Perfect. Well, guys, we appreciate you watching as always and listening on the podcast. We will be back next week. Tyler doesn't have any more personal days, I think, for the year. So we should have Tyler back. Guys, thank you so much. Have a great night. It's been the Mind Snacks Podcast.
Peace.
Yeah.